We having fun tonight, man.
I wouldn't say overshadowed because I've been to a few rock shows within Lansing with metal and punk and other like indie bands too. I would just say that it may have a little more light, but not necessarily overshadowed, if that makes any sense. But I think it's just I'm really one to say it's up to one person for change. It doesn't take too many people to uplift the hip hop community. So.
And I think another thing that may give them a little more shine is that they don't have a bad representation for their shows. Like there's certain venues that won't do hip hop shows. They never will, because when they hear we're doing a rap show or a hip hop show, they hear violence, police, shooting, and every show I've been at, knock on wood, I don't know if there's any wood, but every show that I've put on, every show that I've been involved with, has never been that type of drama. Like every show I've never seen a fight at a show I performed at, ever. And so it's like, I can say that to a promoter and be like, that doesn't happen where I'm at. Like, I know how to talk to my crowd, I know how to control my crowd. I've never had to do a show where I put on that we needed security. And there's other shows that I don't know what they're bringing, but there's a certain element that comes at that show, and that's what happens. And that's why other shows get more shine, because they don't have to worry about that, so people aren't scared about having to replace stuff at their venue and having issues with the cops.
And one thing that I think is good to do, that I try to do, and I know he does too, is try to get booked for a multi-genre show, so it could be like a punk show with some rap artists, and then show them oh wow, it's gonna be a punk show with this rapper guy, I guess he'll be in it too, and then they'll actually see a really dope show. Wow, and then just kind of open their eyes, you know what I mean? So, like I said,
Hugs and high fives everywhere we stroll. She taking seconds.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, especially with me, I don't just listen to hip hop. So there'll be times where actually all yesterday I wasn't listening to any hip hop. I was listening to Adele and Ella Goulding, So I would really love to see more of that, more multi-genre shows. Oh, definitely, and same thing with the whole. I guess if you wanna, categorize it with the re-def scene and the mic club scene, and like you were saying, just kind of see more unity that way, and kind of meshing the two scenes.
Right.
That'd be better that way.
The mic club scene is more of your rapping about selling drugs type of I guess, I don't want to sound too negative about it, but it's more of the street rap. They talk about more things that happen in the street type of environment, and I guess re-def is more of the conscious rapper. It's the more soulful beats, things of that nature. But I think, I don't even think meshing is just going to alleviate it. What really needs to happen is that the issue that is at hand needs to be addressed. I think there's been many artists in the scene that have talked about we need to have some type of State of the Union about the hip hop scene and just actually talk about it. But I think that would be really good if we can get all of the people who have influence on the scene in one room to just talk about it and be how can we make sure that all shows are safe, that all shows go well, and we actually service this community, because that's who we do shows for right now. People can look at it I'm doing this to get famous, I'm doing this just for me, but no one's gonna come to your shows if they're scared. I had a show with this group that's trying to do stuff for youth, and it was at a venue that I'm not gonna name, but since there's been issues at that venue and there's been shootings and things of that nature, no one came. This was a free event for kids, It was a positive thing, and that's why venues don't want to take chances on hip hop shows. So I think the issue has to be addressed. We can't alleviate it just by saying hey, let's just all be involved to help each other. But we need to be but this is what you guys have been doing wrong, this is what we've been doing wrong, and let's work on it and try to fix it.
Trying to relax and catch some rays. It's been a beautiful 60-odd days.
I would say the closest thing would be in '06 when Proof died. When there used to be Code of the Cuts in East Lansing, a whole bunch of the rappers in the area came together just to talk about violence in hip hop and in Michigan, And then after that, that's when respiration started. So like that was the closest. It was where at a point that we realized things needed to change. And like I don't want there to have to be another tragedy for us to realize things need to change, you know. But that was like the first thing that hit us, and it was like things need to change. We need to work together.
Ever get to see you? We did a whole lot of songs.
I was gonna say, I think we should just sell cupcakes and banana wafer pudding at all the shows. You know what I mean? I think that would really help.
People
the
don't
scene.
fight when they eat cupcakes.
Exactly. Who's gonna fight over
You can run it
cupcakes?
back next year when the summer start again, and you can say that we stole your heart again with cuts and fresh lines, kinda like we barbering.